you. Definitely forgot to hit record on this, but it's okay. When you think first homework assignment, you see the definition of branding. What are some of the key or buzzwords that you would like to be associated with you? If you're bold and you already have some things flowing, write them in the comments for me. I want to see what you're thinking, how you're feeling. At least 3 words. What are 3 words that you would love to be associated with you, your brand, your business? Yeah, you, your brand, and or your business. What would be those 3 words? You got mine: down to earth, insightful, and extremely challenging. Because I want to push you outside of what I know you could be. But these are essential things that we all need to be aware of as we proceed forward, right there. All right. Next thing, what is marketing? Now, I know we hear branding and marketing used interchangeably. I mean, we hear those words used so much that it might scare us. And honestly, as I mentioned earlier, I love that, Moheen. Unique, authentic. I love that. I like that kind of stuff. What is marketing? I did marketing like this. I put it on this white background with these black letters that completely throws off the flow, in my personal opinion, of the creative flow of my presentation, because I wanted it to be as simple as possible. I want you to know the difference between brand and branding and marketing. Marketing, by definition, is the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for your customers, clients, partners, and society at large. Marketing is the activity and the set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for your customers and your people. In short, marketing is what you do to let people know that you are what you are. Marketing is what you say or how you present yourself in front of people to let them know that you are good at what you do, that your products are great, that your products work, that your products will change their life, that your products will grow their hair, that your designs are impeccable and one of a kind, that your quality of your clothing is soft, that your service is like the service that you provide is so top tier that they'll never find anybody better. That is marketing. Clarifying that brand and marketing is different. Marketing is what you do to provide value. Write this down, guys. One of the things that is empowered, that is needed, necessary, and essential for creating a brand that will make you money in this 2021 and beyond is always knowing that you have to provide value. We have to provide value. I don't care if you're a service-based business, product-based, we must provide value. And this is why. We don't trust each other. We don't trust people. And because we don't trust, I said it just like that, we don't trust people. And because we don't trust people and we're skeptical, we need to be sold into the fact that I have what it takes for you. I guarantee you, quite a few of you guys that are watching this broadcast now live or are watching the replay have encountered me or my content, but have never booked a session. You know why? Because to you, and unless you're new here, I had not provided enough value for you to say, you know what? Let me invest in myself and sit down with this young man to get clarity. And it's okay. It's a part of the journey called business. It's a part of the journey called entrepreneurship and business building and brand building. But it's important that we keep in mind, I am here to communicate value. How do we communicate value, guys? We learn our lane. Hear me. We communicate value by learning our lane. One of the things I tell all of my clients is that you should never run out of information to teach. You should never run out of free information to give away, aka free, to draw in more people to your business or to your endeavor. You know why? It's because when you learned your lane, you got more, it's like you're a whale. You can dip from that whale, give information, represent information you've already presented before in a new way with new packaging or new wording to get the same point across. We've got to learn our lane. In this year and going forward, we are not at a place anymore where we can finesse or get away with the bare minimum, guys. People are on to us. People have the ability to research and learn for themselves. So if we aren't stellar and A1 and bringing it like we need to bring it, we will be left behind. And we will go unbooked. Our products will go unpurchased. Our services will go unserviced or unscheduled. And money will be pretty much put into the pockets of somebody else when it could have been in yours. But it's all about communicating value. Marketing is an action term. Hear me. Marketing is an action term. Write that in your notes. Marketing is an action term. What you do, what you say, how you position it, that is all marketing. That is actions. Branding, as I undisclosed or unpacked, was pretty much how they're going to feel, what they're going to say, what are the buzzwords they're going to attach to you after they've left your presence. That is branding. That's how you've built your brand. People know Gatorade. We know Gatorade to be an energy drink, but we also know that it replenishes. It'll restore you. These are different things that we grab Gatorades for. Many of us drink Gatorades not even because we're working out. Sometimes we just like it because, hey, we're feeling a little low. We know the electrolytes in there, the salt in there is going to give us what we need. If you've been drinking a lot and have a hangover, the first thing we know to grab is a Gatorade because of the salt in there and what it's going to do for your body and kind of give you that restart, refresh. When that guy created Gatorade all the way in Portland all those years ago, he was not thinking about the hangover. He was thinking about trying to help athletes replenish their bodies immediately after activity. But guess what? When people start to learn and recognize that this works, oh, you know what? Now I know Gatorade knows that they are a go-to for those who've had a long Friday or Saturday. I know that firsthand. I know that. You know why? Because they've started to offer different flavors. If it's just for athletes to be replenished, the flavor really doesn't matter. They have literally opened up a line of flavors that probably goes into the 50s or 60s. For why? Not just because athletes have a preferred taste. Gatorade was designed to replenish them instantly, but they recognize that their brand is now synonymous with so many different things and they work in so many different ways. They're going to make sure they have enough on the market to help everybody in any situation. It's beautiful. So again, back to marketing. Marketing is an action term. Marketing is what you do to communicate value or to let your clients, your partners, your future clients know that you have what they need and that they need you and that you got it and that your services work and that your services exist. If just drop in the comments, is this making sense for you guys so far? Give me a thumbs up on the screen or is this making sense? Anything in the comments? Yes, okay, great. I'm gonna go on to the next slide. So I wanna tell you guys a quick story really quickly before we drop into what a profitable brand is. So I had something very interesting happen to me about this time last year. I was contacted by an Instagram page, not a lot of followers, again, maybe had 100 followers or so. And they said, hey, you know what? We're based in Chicago. We're Black business. We're looking to release these not do-rags, like male bonnets. Like, hey, we know that guys have fros, dreads, all those different things like that. And most men have no idea how to nurture or take care of their hair on a day-to-day basis. So therefore, different things like male pattern baldness and hairline receding, that kind of stuff is done. It happens or it increases or it speeds up simply because men don't know how to treat their hair or they're not familiar with it or taught it. So one of the initiatives of our company is to pretty much create satin-laced hats, do-rags, and male bonnets to be able to protect the hair of those that are Black men that have the different styles of hair. So fros, dreads, braids. Small company. I said, oh, great, sure, no problem. I would love to. I'm like, thanks so much for thinking of me. You know what happened? I didn't know my value. As many followers as I have on Instagram, as much as I do, I was so honored that I was reached out to by a startup company. I just said yes. And so I went to the photo shoot. It's supposed to be four models there. I get there, 3 models backed out. 1 model got lost. It was just me. And so unintentionally, I was super excited about being like, hey, you know what, it's just me. So I guess I'll just figure this thing out. I was like, I get to be a brand ambassador, right? So I'm being a brand ambassador. We recorded like 2 or 3 videos, took some product shots and everything like that. The company's called King's Crowning, if you guys are interested. Beautiful company, amazing. This company, with the help of my face and their creative director of the videos, made almost $500,000 last year from July to December selling male bonnets and do-rags. And I said, this is crazy. First thing here, because I didn't know my worth, I didn't charge them. I had no contract. I was so excited about the opportunity that I had. I did not recognize that there's something in this for me. So not only have I missed out on, well, they made almost $750,000 last year. I didn't get any of that. I have people that walk up to me every day that say, man, I saw that, I saw the company, I saw the bonnets that you have on the Instagram ad and the Facebook ad. I bought like 3 of them. I love what you were doing. It's not my company. Not my company. I'm a brand ambassador. They got 3 or 4 videos out of me. I have the products, still use them, but I never got anything out of me. Never got anything in return for that. Not a stake in the company, not a one-time payout, none of that. And I look on, when I scroll Facebook and Instagram, when I see the paid ad of myself that I get nothing from, I'm always like, you know what? This is what happened when you do not recognize who you are. A beautiful opportunity from a startup company that literally my face is plastered everywhere and I got nothing to show from it. And that was my checkup to say, you know what? You have forgotten, or you have not come into agreement truly with how profitable you are. I want you guys to write this in the comments. I am a wealth magnet. Write this. I am a wealth magnet. So why am I telling this story? The beautiful thing about this story, I was able to highlight my mistake. I did not do what I was supposed to do. I was so excited about being included in something that I did not think thoroughly about what this could possibly do for me. Also, the second reason I want to show it is because this Black-owned company, owned by a Black man, not even 25 years old, not even 25 years old. Last year, I made almost $1 million, probably well over that $1 million mark right now. Use my face. And I said to myself, how did I not see this for what it was? Like, how did I not see the fact that they were targeted, they were clear, they were forward thinking, and they were ready to profit off of me in a way? You guys following me? That's what a profitable brand is. A profitable brand is clear, it's niche-centered, it's forward-thinking, it's consistent, it's ready to profit. Let me explain to you guys what King's Crowning is. And I want you guys to check out King's Crowning after we get done. If you guys have your cell phones out with you, just type in @King's Crowning. I'll put the phone, I'll type it in the comments for sure. But I want you guys to check out what they're doing. And I promise you're gonna now start to see the ads everywhere. But it's Kings_Crowning, Kings_Crowning. And I share this story every chance I get, not to defame or to embarrass the company, not even to embarrass myself. But it was a powerful lesson that when you figure out what it is you really want to do and you lock into that, the possibilities are endless. So let me just really make it make sense. So this 24-year-old Black man said, you know what? I'm a Black man. I've got a fro. I've grown up. My mama got a bonnet. My sister got a bonnet. My girlfriend got a bonnet. I've seen all these things happen all my time. And all I've been ever able to wear was a do-rag. But that do-rag does not really help my dreads, my braids, or my fro, or whatever stage of hair growth that I'm in. Do-rags, if you guys are familiar with that, are typically best for waves, a low-cut Caesar, something small, right? And so this man said, you know what? I've recognized that women wear bonnets and they all silk because it protects their hair, keeps their hair moisturized. And now that men are wearing fros, dreads, I should create something for them, right? Clear, niche-centered. Who is this for? This is clearly for Black men or African-American men or Black people of black and brown descent, those with textured hair, because who else needs to be intentional about keeping the moisture in their hair, right? So he found a company that had bonnets, that had typical like bonnet style skull caps. And I wish I had mine right beside me. I would show it to you. And what it did, he said, you know, let me add satin on the inside of it. Because what is that going to do? Completely hit my target. So you know what? Let me start to think forward. Let me push this thing out and boom. Now I've turned an idea into $1 million operation. Y'all see how unintentional he was, or how unintentional this story was to show you guys that all he decided to do was solve a problem, his own problem, because he had a fro. His half brother had braids. His dad had dreads. And he said he decided to say, you know what, let me solve the problem of my family, the 3 men most closest to me. And that right there is what I consider to be a profitable brand. It is clear, it is niche-centered, it is forward-thinking, it's consistent, and because it is all those things, it is ready to profit. Y'all got that down? Put that on your Instagram, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. A profitable brand is clear, niche-centered, forward-thinking, consistent, and when you do all those things, you are indeed ready to profit. Let's go forward. So let's just jump into it. How to build a profitable brand. So I told you guys I decided to change and beef up this presentation more than any of the other ones I've ever done because I wanted to just kind of lay it all out there. I'm like, let's go for it. So this is how you build a profitable brand. Number one, it starts with you. I tell that story about King's Crowning because what I'm able, when I look at his story and what he did not even realize he was doing was following the perfect business model for entrepreneurship. He was following a model that he did not know. He just said, hey, it's a problem here. But before he said, hey, you know what? It's a problem here that I'm going to solve. He first had to make a conscious decision internally to do what? Start. One of the things that I tell you, people, there are statistics that say 73% of new businesses fail in the first 2 years, and because of lack of funding and all these different things like that. No, I believe businesses fail because the individual who's launching out has not made the bold decision that I'm really going to do this, that I'm really going to give it my all, and I'm going for it, whether I'm scared, nervous, trembling. That is why businesses fail right there in the first 3 years, because the person at the top has not said, you know what, come hell or hot water, I'm going to ride this thing all the way through because I believe in me. I'm going to ask you 100% a real question. Do you believe in you right now? Do you really believe in you? And I want you to be honest and put in the comments. Do you believe in you? And I want you to be honest, 100% honest, whether it's sometimes I do, most of the time, I'm at a 20% out of 100, like, I don't really know. Do you honestly believe in you? I wish I had some Jeopardy music to play right here. I did, but I do now. I love it. I love that. I love the honesty. It's a 75-25 split. We got a bona fide yes. Love that, Andres. Yes. It wavers most of the time, but yes. I do now. Yes. Yes, I love that. Thank you guys for your honesty. And this is why. It's because realistically, you cannot build a solid business that's going to grow and do what it needs to do if you do not believe in you. And this is why. Now, we got, I think we got mostly female, but we got some males on here. I'll shoot it straight. Nobody likes a lack of confidence. Think about, for those who are married or those who are single, if a guy or a girl that you got in contact with and they were not confident in who they are, or in their presentation of self, what would you do? You would leave that dinner date. You wouldn't call them back. You would not even give them your number, because you know why? Nobody likes a lack of confidence. When you do not believe in you, it shows up in your business speech. It shows up in your copy, your captions. It shows up in your decision-making. It shows up in your marketing. When you do not believe in you, people can tell from afar. It's easy to see a person that does not really believe in themselves. You can call it discernment. You can call it a sixth sense. You can see it. It's something about you like, oh, there's no confidence here. And when you don't have the confidence in you or what you have in front of me, why would I give you my hard-earned money? Why would I make that investment of my time when I can already tell that you don't really believe in you? That's why businesses are failing in the first couple of years, because the owner, the visionary, the CEO is not at a place where they are 100% solid on the fact that they believe in them. And it's the beautiful thing about what you guys did in the comments. You were honest. If you can be honest with me, you can definitely be honest with yourself. But when was the last time you said, you know what, self? And self said, do I believe in me? It's not, if you're one of those truly self-aware people, you might ask yourself that. But 9 times out of 10, that's not a common question we ask ourselves. Some people may ask us, do you believe in you? But we don't typically ask ourselves, do you believe in you? But we've asked that question now, and we've got some honest answers. We've got some 75-25. We've got some most of the time I do. We got a yes. We got I do. We got a few of I do now. And that right there is the deal breaker, or the game changer between you and what you're trying to build. You've got to believe in you. Because let me tell you something about when you believe in you. It is very similar to when women get their hair done and men get their hair cut. You walk different. You talk different. You sit up a little different. Your chest poke out a little bit more. You know why? Because I know this. I look good. I feel good. And that right there is how you translate into business, is making sure that you show up for yourself saying, you know what? I'm good. I believe in this. Yeah, I didn't make a sale today, but guess what? I'm still good at what I do. Yeah, nobody's booked my service this week, but guess what? I'm still great at what I do. They just haven't seen it yet. But you've got to be committed to you. You've got to be committed to saying and to knowing that you actually believe in you. The second thing, niche. Niche. Some people call it niche. Some people call it niche. I call it your claim to fame. I'm real urban. They call it your niche in the perfect business world. What's your niche and what's your niche? I said, what's your claim to fame? What's your claim to fame?
That's the simple question that we all have to answer. What is your claim to fame? I want to help break this down for you guys to kind of make it as simple as possible, because this will be your second homework assignment. Third homework assignment. Let me go back. Let me give you that one. So it starts with you. What I want you to do for your second homework assignment is to write what I coach my clients through, called 10 Badass Affirmations. Now, I hope I didn't mess with your spirit, but please hear me. 10 Badass Affirmations. This is why. It is nobody's responsibility but yours to give you the confidence and the boost that you need every single day. It's you. So when your feet hit the ground, you've got to make a conscious decision in your mind. I'm going to win this day. This day belongs to me. Come what may, I am going to win this day. One of the most powerful things I've ever done in the last 2.5 years is adding daily affirmations. Now, I believe in this. Your 10 badass affirmations need to cover your entire life, from your personhood to your personal growth, to your money, your business, whatever it is. You need to have 10 badass affirmations. I call them badass affirmations boldly, because sometimes you've got to convince yourself that, hey, I'm it. I'm that guy. I'm that woman. I've got what it takes. I know what to do. I know what you got to psych yourself up some. Realistically, every day ain't easy. Stepping into this realm of business, every day is not always going to be a great day. But you've got to do that internal stuff. So I'll tell you guys, I make my badass affirmations every quarter. And my badass affirmations cover everything from my walk with Christ, my day. I really remind myself that, I'm in control of my destiny. As long as I follow God, I'm going to get what I need to get. My business is going to be covered, and I'm going to be doing what I need to do. I'm going to change the world in my own special way. I'm going to employ my mother before the end of the year. I'm going to get my Maserati. These are part of my affirmations, but I'm going to give you guys some of my 10s so you guys know what your 10s should look like, or how you should kind of situate them. Feel free to include scriptures, include song lyrics, make some scriptures. If you want to reword them to make them easier for you to regurgitate fast on the go, because mine are on my home screen on my phone. So no matter what's going on where I am, there's no reason why I can't say my daily affirmations. My first daily affirmation is, the Lord is my shepherd, so I shall not want. That's Bible. So I believe in God. The second one is, discipline and obedience are my best friends. That right there makes me get up and go to the gym. It makes me get up and makes me stick to my daily schedule to get to work on time. It makes me do it. You know why? I've said at the top of my day, discipline and obedience are my best friends. So I've got to align to what discipline and obedience are for me in my life. The next thing, I'm made for healthy love and relationship. The next one, I'm willing to make the internal adjustments to be who I am designed to be. The next one, I am not afraid of my call or my purpose. The next one, I'm good at what I do. The next one, I'm here to change the world one person at a time. The next one, money comes to me daily, whether I work for it or not. The next one, everything I touch turns green. Another one, I have a healthy support system. Next one, I'm a good steward of all that I have. Another one, a strange source has my supply and it's being released to me. The next one, every day is my day. My favorite one, people are looking for me. I'm ready. I'm here to help them be better, and I've got the answers and I'm ready to give them. The last one, my mind, body, spirit, and soul are healthy and prospering. So I think I have about 12 of it. I kind of skimmed through them, but that is what it is. I want you guys to make that an intentional thing that you do. Write your daily affirmations and make sure they cover the areas of your life that you are stepping into. Next thing, talking about what's your niche, what's your claim to fame. That's your third homework assignment right there. What's going to be your claim to fame? When people see you, they're going to say, this is her or this is he who solves this problem. What problem are you coming to that you're in this earth to solve in this season? Let me tell you something about niches or niches. Niches do adjust based upon your seasons. Like right now, when I first started my business, I was helping pastors and ministers have effective conferences and workshops, right? Then I started off by helping Black people start small businesses. Now, my focus and my niche for this season is to help entrepreneurs who are in that beginning stage. I prepare you to make your first 50K. I know a lot of people who have I'm going to be a millionaire on my to-do list or on my affirmations list. I want to make $100,000. Well, I first got to teach you the processes and procedures and systems on how to make your first 50K. Because realistically, most of us are not going to be overnight sensations. The kiddies have that one. The YouTube stars, the TikTok stars, they have that one. Us, we're going to have to get it out the mud. We're going to have to build some stuff that's going to be reputable, that needs to be substantial, that needs to be impactful, that needs to be real. It needs to be real. We've got to build stuff that needs to be real. So we've got to know, what's my claim to fame? Who am I here to impact and to help? Who am I here to impact and to help? The greatest thing you could do, and hear me, the greatest thing you could do is to recognize that you are not for everybody. I'll say it again. You are not for everybody, but who you are for that group of those millions of people who fit your ideal person. You are not for everybody, but the person you are for, it's a million of them. Think about it. I gave you guys my niche for the season. I'm here to help entrepreneurs, mid-level entrepreneurs, make their first 50K, right? So that could be anybody who's been in business for 1 year to 5 years to sometimes 10 years, because there are business owners who have not made their first $50,000. So guess who I'm talking to? I've narrowed down my target. I am not for everybody. I am no longer the business coach for everybody. I am the one that's for those who are saying, you know what, I've started, I'm pushing on, I need to make some adjustments. I'm recognizing some things are not working because I have not made my first 50K. I'm here to help you bust the glass ceiling on your first 50K, and that's it. But I'm not for everybody. But who I am for is for this one specific person, and this world just happens to have a couple million of those people. Do you hear me? Your opportunities for impact are endless. I'll say it again. Your opportunities for impact are endless. You know why? Because you are not just going after everybody. You're going after one person, and it happens to be a couple million of those one people, or those individuals. I'm sorry. It's a couple million of those individuals. So remember that when you're building, when you're launching, when you're creating, that, yeah, everybody on your timeline, everybody on your Facebook friends list probably won't respond because you don't have a bunch of repeat use just yet. But when you make your content and make your clearing calls and do the things to advertise and to market to get those kind of people who are similar to who you're trying to help to you, boom, then all of a sudden your list will grow and will change from now just people that you knew, that you loved, to now people that you're called to help, that you're called to be a beacon of light for, that you're called to effect or impact change in their life. Is it making sense? I am not for everybody. I see that. I am not for everyone. That's all in the comments. I love that. The next thing, what is your target? What are you here to do? I want to kind of make this an interactive exercise. I want you guys to put in the comments, and this is kind of very similar to where I started off with the niche, but what is your target? I want you guys to put in here what your target is. I'm going to give a live example of how specific your target needs to be. So whoever's bold, just drop in the comments who is or what is your target. And if you don't mind, if anybody's actually interested, we can put you on the screen and I can unmute you, and I want you to tell me what it is, and I can help you unpack it live so that I can give everybody a live example of how it needs to be done or how deep it needs to go. Anybody willing? Put in the comments for me. If not, I can definitely do Miss Karen. Okay, so I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do Karen, and I see one hand being raised right here. What's your name, brother? You don't have a name on it. I just see your face. I'm sorry about that.
Rashard.
Rashard. Okay, Rashard. Let me do Miss Karen's first, and then I'm gonna do yours, Rashard. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, Miss Karen, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to unmute you. Let me make sure I got the right one. And I want you to just kind of share with me how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and most importantly, kind of introduce your target to not just me, but to the group. Okay?
Sure. Let me get my other headphones. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Well, while you're grabbing your headphones, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Mr. White. Is that cool?
Well, I mean, I have them, but if you want to one, that's fine.
Oh, no, you got them. Go ahead and get your headphones. We'll do that. We'll do it like that. Let's unpack.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Okay, so let's unpack it. So you said that your target is broken women need to be restored, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so broken women need to be restored from what?
Basically, the way that God gave it to me, I was working on a project, and He gave me the The name of it is I Am Her, which is
Okay.
healed, evolved, and restored. And based on my life story, dealing with a lot, family trauma, what have you, he just gave me that to build on. And about 6 months ago, I had, started my t-shirt. I got the t-shirt out and everything. And then one day I was sitting down and he like, this is going to be bigger than what you think. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he gave me like a whole outline and I was like blown away of the way that he gave me to market it, brand it with the book, with the TV show, and like a retreat or what have you, to have like retreats for the weekend. And he gave me that. And it was really scary. But the more I did it, the more I'm like, okay. And so then last weekend, one of my friends called me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. I said, what's up? And she said, let's hang out. So I said, okay. She said, but I don't know what to do. I said, we'll figure out something. And so, like, again, within 6 months, she told me, something like about a podcast or whatever. And so when I got to her house, she said, God told me to make the investment. I said, what are you talking about? She said, let's go get some podcast equipment. And I was just like freaked out. And so we went to get the equipment. So now we're in the process of creating content for a podcast for I Am Her.
I love that. Well, congratulations on the step that you're making. I am so glad to hear that. I want to ask you a few questions here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I want to ask you, so when I do believe in targets, and I think you have a little noise in the background, so I'm going to mute you while I ask the questions and you can unmute yourself, okay?
Oh, that's my grandbaby.
Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure everybody else can hear. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
So what? So that was a beautiful explanation of what it looks like to actually be able to make $1 and a difference at the same time. We heard our sister mention that she's opened up a t-shirt company. Now she's venturing into podcasting, where she can now charge people to do ads on her podcast, where she can do product shout outs, product highlights, boom, money in to fund her vision, retreats, boom, money in to fund the vision, a lot of greatness, speaking opportunities. I'm pretty sure books and all that kind of stuff is going to happen. Then boom, TV, she mentioned television shows. That means paid sponsorship. So we see a lot of opportunities for monetization there. But one of the things that I want to make sure that we ask our sister Karen is, I do believe that, when God gives us the charge and the call, that we follow the charge and the call. But I want to ask Miss Karen, who, you said broken women to be restored, but women broken from what? Because when we think about women being broken, brokenness is not a gender specific thing. And then most importantly, it's not an age specific thing either. So what would be the 2 to 3 things that that you're going to be called to touch and to deal with in your first 6 months? And on top of that, what's the age group that God has anointed you for? Because realistically, brokenness has no age gap. So who are you talking to, or who do you desire to deal with? Is it women 18 to 35? Is it women from 35 to 50? Let's answer those 2 questions. What age group of women do you desire to deal with? And is there anything specific in your story that you feel called and charged to do? Because when we start to do marketing and really start to kind of release this kind of stuff, especially for different things that are being built to help people, we've got to be very intentional, because most of the time when those people are in need of help, they're not going to go searching for help. Help has to kind of show up for them. That's kind of how we work. It has to just show up in front of their face. But when it shows up in front of their face, we don't want them to miss the opportunity to get the assistance they need by your services and your retreats and your information, simply because they didn't recognize that this wasn't for them, whether it was in the branding, whether it was in the marketing, whether it was in the word choice. So like, who is this for? What's the age group for women? And what are some of the issues that you say that you're anointed to change and to challenge them to be better with? Hey, Miss Karen, we can't quite hear you just yet. Can you make sure that you unmuted yourself?
Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Miss Karen.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me also?
Yes, ma'am, we all can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Initially, the age group that God gave me was from 18 to like around 50, because that's the age group I mostly connected with. dealing with rape, dealing with abandonment, rejection, family trauma, coming from a family where my family was dealing in witchcraft and trying to things off of people, off of us to be able to move forward. And I say, like being a single mom, it's just the areas that I've dealt with has been basically like almost traumatizing, to where that God did give me a book to write about it. And then like when he gave me the book, which I really was fearful of it, but then when he started taking me back and showing me through dreams how he kept me and how he allowed me to go through that process and to be able to go back and help others. Because initially when you're going through something, you don't ever think that people want to hear what you have to say. And so for years, I was just afraid to do or say anything. It's like when you ask a question, like, do you believe in yourself? For a long time I did it. But then here lately, God has been showing me that it's time that you have to, take the confidence that I've given you, walk in my confidence and in my strength to go forth and do what I called you to do. So that's my age group. And that's basically like the healing process, to be able to identify with the issue and then move forward. Because sometimes that he's not going to allow you to know everything, but to give you specifics to be able to unlock those things that's locked and to be able to move on and thrive. Hello?
I'm sorry, I was unmuting myself. Thank you for sharing that. But I want to ask you a few follow-up questions, because I do, and I'm a business builder. I'm a builder of things. So when I love your targets, the things that you want to deal with, from trauma to family. And I do believe that it's going to be great. But I do want to ask you a quick question. Do you believe that the target group of 18 to 30 to 18 to 50 may be too big? And let me ask you, I'm asking from this standpoint, because an 18-year-old and a 50-year-old who may be dealing with the same residue of the same situations are in two different levels or lanes of society. So for example, the 18-year-olds that are going through or coming up right now, they're big on TikTok and they're into these social media outlets, right? But then some of the 35 and up who may have been dealing with some of the same issues, they're not per se in some of these lanes of life. So I'm asking you for this reason. I do believe you may want to go back to God and kind of narrow down that age group, because it's impossible to market to everyone. And realistically, because even though your mission and your charge is to heal and restore people, we've still got to be able to speak the language. Because, for example, one of the powerful tools of marketing is language. And an 18-year-old and a 50-year-old do not speak the same language. They're not going to respond to the same buzzwords, right? So only one of them is going to, so depending on your terminology, only one is going to respond, or one sector will respond when the other one wouldn't. And so with that, I could see that being a space where you could unintentionally become discouraged in your endeavor if you're, releasing the stuff and doing what you're supposed to be doing and follow the instructions of God. However, when it comes down to something as small as language, when it comes to marketing, because no matter how we want to view it, we do have to market.
I mean, I definitely
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. I mean, it's not all going to be at one time, and it's different projects for different age groups. But initially, it is the like the 35 to like about 50-ish, because I'm 52. So It's not going to be like all like one mass thing. It's going to be starting with that group and then branching out to other groups, because you say you're right. It's the language, how you approach them, body language. People want to see results, and then your approach with everything. So you're right. It's not all at one time, though.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure, because I was hearing those things, and one of the things I don't like to see is that sometimes when I've had clients that have launched into following God or following their higher source, and then certain things sometimes did not work, is because they had bit off more than what they could chew. Sometimes just within their marketing, because of who they were trying to reach, when everybody's not the same. So thank you, Ms. Cam, for sharing that. I'm going to go ahead and
thank you.
No problem. I'm asking our brother to unmute himself. Introduce yourself, where you're from, and then most importantly, let us know what your target is. Who are you here to help, or what are you here to do?
Excellent. My name is Rashard White. I am in Auburn, Alabama. Let's see where I start. So I initially would work behind the scenes in ministry and kind of in the industry, working with different gospel artists, kind of working on a team here, working on projects there. And I think when I'm going to go back to your setup, I started with myself. I saw I was getting fed in ministry, But when it came down to being a creator, I was feeling drained, and I didn't really find a source that was encouraging me, not just from a ministry perspective, but as a creative. So during the pandemic, I started a virtual talk show, which initially started going Facebook Live, bringing in different guests and spotlighting their expertise and their gifting. And the goal was to encourage the encouragers and inspire innovators, and not just from a ministry perspective, but for in the marketplace as well. And I also kind of evolved from there and started doing the show weekly. It was kind of sporadic at first, but now I set myself to doing it weekly. And now I want to be able to provide promotion for quality products and services. Also kind of do some hosting, just so I can target all age groups that are kingdom-minded and thinking outside the box. So that's where I stand right now. And my show is called The Open Door Live. So, yeah.
I love that. So I know you mentioned a few kind of transitions within the your show, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
You said what now? I'm sorry.
You had a few transitions within your show from, like, was it more than one show? Was just one show kind of going in a couple different ways or a couple different lanes?
At first, for the first maybe 2-3 months, I was just kind of going live and bringing people in. And I realized that with the audience I had coming in, I needed to have more structure to it. So the show evolved to being once, I could stay at the same place. Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, I would bring in one guest and then maybe one artist.
Okay.
And kind of we did it in that format. And we hit one topic, spotlight that artist and try to promote their album, promote whatever they had going on, and go from there. So I was bringing value to the actual people coming on and my listening audience.
Okay, so let me ask you, so what is your overall goal with this?
So my overall goal from a encouraging perspective is to empower my listening audience. When it comes down to a business perspective, I want to be able to build a brand so I can start selling products so that I can actually start selling more promotional space for other artists that are coming in that may have something coming up, or events or ministries, and add value in that perspective.
Okay, so I want to go back to, I think you mentioned that the show, I guess at one point, was designed to encourage the encouragers, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that the encouragement for the encouragers and the mixture of the gospel music is the best mix?
I think it is.
Okay, and so why do you think it's the best mix?
Well, a lot of gospel art, it's inspiration. I feel like the empowerment that comes from a lot of gospel is biblical, but then it's layered with inspiration, and it all comes together. And it's just an overall empowerment experience in one show.
I love it. So I asked you that because one thing that when it comes to something, of course, like when you really lock in, especially to sometimes a Christian-based audience, it can unintentionally bring about its limitations, because of course, like, you're dealing with your set people. But when it comes to like things like that, once you're clear on, hey, you know what, I'm here to help the encouragers, I believe something like that should be the big push. So one of the things I do believe would be beneficial from you is like having certain, I guess, if you're not already doing this, possibly having certain targeted conversations about what to do about certain situations, because many people are dealing with and navigating through some things, and possibly spend a little less time with the artist spotlight and more with the encouragement, because realistically, more people are looking for encouragement than what they're looking for music. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
And you can kind of start to lock in on a few issues, like, say, for example, just throwing something out there, Christians and depression, because most Christians are functionally depressed. And so if you start to have like series long conversations and maybe mixing in some of the inspirational music is, hey, you know what, here's a musical takeaway to kind of help you as you go about your day, or here's something that you can send to a friend that you know may be kind of dealing with something, not just send them the broadcast, also send them this song as kind of to help balance it out. Does it make sense?
It does.
The thing with media-based productions, we have to find something that's always going to grab the attention. So that means to a certain degree, borderline controversial or borderline taboo is going to be the best way to go. Now, of course, within the Christian sector, the box is sometimes a little bit more limited because you don't want to appear disrespectful or anything like that. But we've got to tap into or push into or more so lean into the real issues that people are dealing with. I can name 10 Christians right now that are functioning, singing, preaching, but depressed, right? And I would love to listen to something and to kind of be able to pass something along just to kind of help them in that fight through that season of life. But sometimes those spaces are not really available. Or if they're available, sometimes they're not necessarily marketed or advertised in a way that we get it. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Does that provide some value for that?
It did. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah.
I want to let that lead right into where we are with how to hit your target. One of the most important things that when you're building a brand or building a business is to speak the language of the people you want to impact. So that means, for example, you have to know them down to a T, demographic. So for example, I can use Miss Karen for, because she threw out her women's ministry. Somebody did a women's empowerment. I'll use another example. I think that was Andree's women's empowerment. What type of woman are you desiring to impact? Is she Black? Is she white? Is she Korean? Is she a professional? Is she a mother? Is she an entrepreneur? You know, whatever. We have to specify all the way down. Outside of, we got a woman. So what type of woman? Now we dealt with the nationality. So, okay, you know, what is the career field? Is she an entrepreneur? Is she a Christian entrepreneur? You know, then what are some of the issues that she's having? Hear that? We've got to pull the pain point. You hit your targets by pulling the pain point. You hit your targets by always being willing to hit the pain point. Pain is the number one seller. People move off of pain. So when it comes to hitting your targets, you got to know the pain of your people. I can give myself for an example. I'm leaning into to entrepreneurs who need to make their first 50K because I recognize that if you have not made 50K, you're probably still working a job that you don't want to be on, or you are overexhausting your business finance to produce a life for you just to kind of take care of you. So therefore, you're seeing no profit. You're seeing no reward. So what happens? I'm speaking to the entrepreneur who's ready to give up, who's borderline depressed, who's lost sight of their gift, who's lost hope in their product or their service. That's who I'm speaking directly to. Someone talk to your pain. So I want to say things like, hey, have you not made your first 50K yet? Know the pain. Know the pain. Are you struggling on how to properly staff? Are you burnt out with your business? Are you falling out of love with your endeavor? Got to deal with the pain, address the pain directly, because people will always respond to pain. Think about it like this. If you hit your funny bone when you turn that, or when you hit your foot or that part of your shin, when you turn the corner in your bedroom too fast and it kind of gets under the bed a little bit, and it's like no matter what happens, there's an automatic response. Hit your funny bone, automatic response. When we hit that pain point, we're going to get automatic responses. Now that automatic response may come as an amen on a comment. It may come as a like. It may come as a repost or a share, but the goal is if we hit the pain, we'll always get a response. Remember that. If we hit the pain, you'll always get a response. But I will tell you this, how deep of the pain you hit will determine what kind of response you get. So women's empowerment. If Andres decided to host a virtual workshop on women who are Black and in career fields who are navigating male-dominated arenas, just like a fireside chat with like a speaker or a therapist or something that decided to host, give some nuggets on how Black women can advance and survive corporate America mentally. You know what that does? It's so targeted. It talks to, hey, this is for the Black professional woman who works in pretty much most male-dominated arenas, which is pretty much most corporate America space. Those that may already be under pressure because they're feeling undervalued, they're 9 times out of 10 underpaid, They're slightly disrespected. She's already started to hit those pains, right? And so what is the Black woman going to do? You know what? I need help. I love my job, but I can't take it anymore. I need to get some assistance on how to navigate this space. Boom. See how that, like the intentionality right there when it comes to the pain. So what I will ask you guys to do for another assignment is to, once you've kind of identified your niche and what you're here to do, I want you guys to list the pain of those people. List out the pain of those people. So whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's a lack of funds, whether it's a lack of flexibility, whatever it is, lack of life balance, lack of time balance, whatever it may be, list the pain of those people. And once you've listed the pain of those people, start to put like some things, some buzzwords that you know that they would say. And this should be easy. Let me tell you why, because typically most of us are called to a champion or go after to save a new cause or a new thing to us, or most of us are called to go back and reach the us of yesterday. So this one should be easy. When it comes to finding your target audience and your niche, quite often you're here to solve a problem that you used to have. That one's free. I do that training all the time. Like most niche people who are looking for their target audience, it's the you of yesterday. It is the problem that you finally found a way to beat. That's it. No, it's really easy for the most part. Just helping the old you. Oh, look at that. I must have been in the spirit. I didn't even know that. But yeah, that's exactly my target. Black and brown women in corporate America, to help them navigate. Because I've been in successful corporate America where it's boom, look at that. And we just broke that down, not even realizing that we were breaking that down. But there it is. A problem you used to have. That is going to be the key for you. I think, Andres, I think I want you to unmute. You have something to say? Share something with us.
Hey, Evan and everybody. How are y'all? Hey. Yes, absolutely. You hit it right on the head. Me being of, African-American, also Indian descent, being brown, Black in corporate America, it's very hard, I've noticed, for a lot of women of color to navigate and to have a healthy work environment, especially in a white male dominant area, so I empower women, speak to women as myself that are in that position to help them, guide them, to give them insights of what I've done, working for Fortune 500 companies, HP, AT&T, those type of companies, and it's just, that's my calling, is to help these type of women to evolve and to succeed and be successful mentally, physically, and emotionally.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So there it is, guys. We got to always be intentional to hit the pains of our people. And let me tell you this, there is nothing wrong with addressing the pain of your people. Nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with addressing head on the pain of your people. You know why? Because you are a solution. Building a profitable brand is easy when you've recognized that, hey, I'm here to be a solution. I told you guys in the beginning of this workshop, you can make $1 and a difference at the same time. So you are a solution. You're a walking, talking, breathing solution. You're a wealth magnet, but you're also a solution. See, you guys go ahead and make sure you connect with your email addresses right there in the comments. I love this. This is why we do what we do, because we are here to change the narrative or change the game for somebody else. And we first have to be willing to hit those targets head on. Next thing, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, I want to do a little thing called Brand Busters before we leave and open up for a question and answer. Brand Busters. Now, we've all heard of Myth Busters, right? So I want to do this thing called Brand Busters just to kind of help you all debunk some things and pretty much like to create some new standards for thinking when it comes to your business endeavor and what I do believe you're getting ready to dive into and what you're building, what you're preparing for as you end the rest of this year. First Brand Buster. I'm gonna go through all 5 of them. The message is in your pricing. For those who are already in business, the message is in your pricing. If the price is entirely too low, AKA if you are undervaluing yourself, if you are nowhere near the market trend or the market point or marketplace point, you are sending a message in your pricing that you do not believe in you. Told you guys, confidence. When you have extremely low pricing that is not justifiable and does not make any sense, you are automatically sending the message that you do not believe in you. This is why people will invest up. Your people Once you've provided value, market it to them, hit their pain points consistently, they will invest up. They will invest in what they need. You cannot give something low price or too low price for it and it not send a signal in their head that, you know what, this doesn't make any sense, especially for something that you know is worth a couple $100s at a time, right? The message is in your pricing. Messages in your pricing. Your confidence can be felt in your pricing, okay? Next thing, brand buster, the psychology of colors. I'm missing an S right there. Act like the S is there. It's the psychology of colors. Let me tell you something. When it comes to branding and brand building and business building, colors tell a story. Another assignment, guys, when you guys get a chance, write this down. Google the psychology of colors and let the map show up. I really should have had the map right here for you. But colors tell a story. The colors indicate certain things or send certain things to the brain that trigger certain emotions and responses. There is a psychology behind colors. That's why you can always tell a lot of people who wear a lot of black are typically sometimes not the most confident in themselves. They're really dark, but then you see a lot of those who don't mind wearing live and vivacious colors. They're very bold and it's kind of like, here I am. Sometimes you can feel the creativity by the colors they have on. You can feel the power that they possess when they walk in the room with their red power suit on. Colors tell a story that you need to be aware of when you're doing your branding, when you're doing your marketing, when you're picking your colors for your flyers and for your events. These colors are signifying certain things to the brain that you may not always be aware of, but that you need to be cognizant of for the audience that you are marketing to. The next thing, products that sell are simply created by this: products that make sense and work. If you're looking to create products that sell, create products that make sense, that are on brand for what you do. And lastly, products that work. There is nothing wrong with taking a beta group. And a beta group is something simply for those who may have service-based or projects or different things. Take a small group to be able to do this thing, provide you social proof. One of the greatest things ever created that will never go out of style, no matter how many social media platforms we have, is a word of mouth recommendation. My largest contracts have come off word of mouth recommendation. You know why? It's because I had some sort of proof. Somebody said, hey, you know what? I worked with them. What is my brand? What are the 3 words in my brand? Insights, insightful, challenging. Insightful, challenging. He was insightful. He taught me something new. He challenged me. And then lastly, I felt comfortable with him. He was down to earth, down to earth. That is the way you have to start to think, you know what? Are my products reflective of my brand? If my products work and they're reflective of my brand, I have to continuously market those and then I can sell them. The next one, social media it is. I'm sorry, there's no other way around it. Social media is the way to grow your business and to grow your digital imprint and your exposure at this moment in time. There is no other way around it. You know, at one point in time, maybe about 15 years ago, it was billboards on interstates. It's no longer billboards on interstates right now, guys. It's Instagram pages, it's Facebook accounts, it's also LinkedIn. So whatever your endeavor, whatever your arena, whatever market that you need to go into, like Andres, you using LinkedIn and promoting some of what you're doing with the corporate America, phenomenal. It's a professional network. Some of those who may be, I know Sister Karen was doing some stuff with inner healing and trauma. Facebook would be a great platform. So whatever it may be, you find the platform that you need and you milk that thing all the way to and through. I can tell you guys this, I'm pretty sure you all probably know, but that social media right now is on the trend and on track to be video based. Photos and sometimes flyers will no longer be the thing anymore because people like videos, and this is why. Videos allow for personal touch to be had. Videos allow for personal, for body language to be felt. Videos allow for your smile to really translate and transcend. All these things that matter when it comes to building, bringing people to your community, it's a lot easier to do via video. We're on a video right now. Yes, please share a secret. I would love to. Yes, share a secret.
Absolutely. You know, you just said it, social media. To be honest with you all, I'm more of an introvert. But now in this new trend with social media, I've become an extrovert because that's how I'm going to market myself. That's how I'm going to also empower women, empower people around the world. They're going to have to see me. So it's definitely the new trend, and I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And she said something very impactful. She said, she changed. She chose to change. The introvert extrovert thing is no longer an excuse. And this is why. We hear this same in a kind of a negative thing like keyboard bullies. Do you guys recognize that you can be just as extroverted as you want to be on your computer? And nobody has to know you. Nobody has to experience you. Nobody has to feel you. And you can do it from your computer. And last thing, I need a team. One of the things for sure that most of us believe is that we need a team to do this. You don't need a team to start all this. You do not need a team to start everything that you need to do. Please hear that. Hear me with that. You do not need a team to start. Let me tell you something about a team. A team is earned. Hear me. A team is earned. Because why have a team and you bring people into a space or a situation where they have no idea what they're supposed to be doing? You guys hear me? A team truly in your mind should be the reward for what you've been building. How many of you guys have been wrestling with needing a team or wishing you had more assistance on your project? Let me know in the comments right there. Yep. How many of you guys have been wrestling with feeling like you need a team? I don't have enough time. I can't figure out how to do it all on my own. Yes, let me tell you something. You do need a team and you'll have one. But the first thing you need to keep in your mind, I need to earn this team. I need to have put the work in. I need to have invested enough in myself to build out the policies and not necessarily policies and procedures, but systems so that when I have a team, all I'm doing is inserting someone into a space and they're able to carry out a role. Let me tell you guys something. I believe in the one-man show. Most entrepreneurs are the one-man shows, what I call them. With the admin, the creator, the visionary, the finance person. And I did it for 3 years. When I said, you know what? I need assistance. I created the space for my assistants to come. So I said, you know what? This is what I need on the financial side. I need somebody to manage the books. I need just tax payments. I put it on a list on the sheet of paper and I put it on the wall in my office. I said, Lord, this is what I need. And when I needed an admin to kind of help me structure stuff, because I realized I'm wearing too many hats that I don't need to wear, I said, I put a task of this is what I need my admin to do. Email clarification and responses, responding to clientele, email blasts. I'll draft them, but she sends them, boom. Not even 3 weeks later, I had an admin. Because somebody said, hey, you know what? Do you need some assistance? And I finally was able to say, yes, this is what I need. Most of us do not know what we need. We do not 100% know exactly what we need. So how dare we be upset or frustrated when sometimes the universe or whatever your belief system has not aligned for what you need to come across your path. You haven't even been bold enough to say, you know what, this is exactly what I need. I do a thing with my iPhone. I have a list called Know Your Need in my notes. And whenever I have something big coming up, I literally go in there and I put by price point what I need. And because I believe this note, my know my need note, I believe that when I align what I need fully, prices, which one I want, what color, and it's right there, things have no choice but to align because I know my need. But everyone can't handle my content. That I'm going to disagree with you on that, Miss Karen. I think that everyone can handle, the right people can handle your content. But I think it may be a thing where you may not need to focus more so on who can handle your content, but who knows what to do with it to get it out. Realistically, I had social media managers and they were not business savvy, but they knew how to get stuff out. My social media manager or per se consultant now, she knows nothing about business, but she's helping me to understand how to get it out. And that's what's most important right now, is that I'm able to get my message and get my mandate and what I'm supposed to be doing in this season out. I don't need her to understand this. It may be something that you may have to kind of work with. They may not need to understand your content, but they need to know how to get it out. I struggle with that. I struggle with what to keep and what to give. Yeah, Tara, I would just say with that, you have to kind of really stop and say, you know what is affecting me and not allow me to sit in the seat that I'm sitting in effectively. So when I recognized that I was still sending emails and I was responding to emails slow because I'm working on websites, I'm setting client calls, I'm doing all these other things, I'm recognizing that a lot of my energy was going to stuff that I don't even like to do. But in the past, I had to do it. because it was what the season I sat in. But when I said, you know what, I'm going to trust, and because I'm going to trust, the space that I need and the resources I need will be unlocked for me to get what I need, it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work. So I want to shift you guys into a small question and answer period. And I want, before I go into that, you guys got your questions. I want you guys to type them in the chat, just so that when I have the replay, those that watch the replay, the chat will pop up on the screen and they'll be able to see the questions. But I want to say thank you guys for spending this time with me today. You could have been doing anything else on a Saturday, but you spent it with little old me, and I appreciate that. So while you guys are gearing up your questions, because I want to hear them and I want to answer as many as I can, I want to give you guys an opportunity to just kind of something else to kind of help you as you keep going. So I have this thing that I created called the Coach's Corner. And the Coach's Corner is simply a monthly program where I walk with business owners. I keep them accountable. I push them. I answer their questions. I keep their goals going. I ask them what their goals are. We have live trainings. What else do? We talk. We have frustration. We have our dumping sessions. We have our goals. Hey, what are you struggling with? Because I recognize the name of the game right now is partnership. I'm in business communities with other business and professionals where I've been able to get what I needed just because I was in the group. And I said, you know what? There are plenty of people that I encounter who just need to be in the group. And because I know that I am anointed and graced to help people in this startup stage, I know right there that I can help them get in the community. But most importantly, while they have community and have accountability and have the information and resources that they have, I can help push them as they go step by step. So that's why I created the Coach's Corner. The Coach's Corner, it has monthly training modules, monthly goal setting, weekly accountability, homework assignments, because I do believe in challenging people, pop-up workshops with industry leaders that are, some of them are my friends, some of them are the ones that I've learned from. And also you have access to my resource list. And I would love to have you guys a part. It's only $19. Now, the great thing about the investment like this being so low is that most of us have it. I know if you're under 30, you may go out, you may have to skip brunch one weekend. But guess what? You've been put in a position to get the ongoing information that you need to start this journey. I'll be honest with you guys. My first 3 years in business was hard. And I never got out of the red because I never had what I needed. And I said, I will never go forward and be a success and not create what I needed back then. And this is what I needed back then. I needed someone to say, hey, you know what? Be a part of this. I'll provide you information weekly. I'll give you resources that I know that I could be charging thousands of dollars for. Just because you're willing to be a part, I'll give you what you need right there for a low rate. I needed that. I didn't have $1,500 to put into a website design back then. I didn't have $500 to put into a photo shoot. But guess what? I had $1 and a dream, and I knew I could make a difference. But what I did have was $19.99. And that right there could have been a game changer. And even though I've seen great success in my 5 years, I do believe with the information that I know now and the access and the community that I know now that I needed, I wonder where I could be if I'd used that in year 2. Like, where could you be with from a small investment that provides you what you need as you're growing and building your business? Where could you be? What could that do? And I want to be the person that you say, you know what? Thank you, Coach Ev. I've been doing this with you for a year, and I've learned so much about my business. Guys, we're covering everything from actual psychology of colors to the in-depth business setup, business startup, all the goodness, taxes, bookkeeping, things that you need to know as an individual business and or brand, how to structure your business, when you need to be a sole proprietor, LLC, all that stuff. We cover everything in that nature because I do believe this, on top of your work ethic, your willingness to be committed and submitted to your goal, your dream, there's nothing that can stop you. Absolutely nothing that can stop you. So I know I have a few questions that came into this, but I wanted to formally invite you guys to the Coach's Corner. I'll drop the link here and below, but it's just my website, www.coachev.com. It's only $19. You can cancel it anytime, but I promise you won't need to, because you're going to get just what you need to get to that 50K and beyond if you're not already there, faster than what you already know. So I wanted to encourage you guys to join that, put it before you. Now I'm going to answer some questions really quickly. As I know we had some that came in. Rashard White asked, how do I get an EIN number? So an EIN number is technically your business social. You can get your EIN number on the IRS website. Now, where this can get a little tricky, Rashad, Mr. White, is that if you do not want to, you have a couple options when it comes to business structures. You can do a sole proprietorship. That is where your EIN is attached to your social. So for a lot of businesses that are not that do not have a lot of liability, you really could use your EIN number, which attached to your social for that. And you just file your business earnings with your normal taxes in April, or April, whenever that is, that time frame falls around. So I would suggest if you're looking for, you have a low maintenance business or a low liability business. So for example, you're not touching food, not doing a lot of physical labor, nobody can get hurt from you, what you're doing. Taking the route of a sole proprietorship may be your best bet. If you're looking to get an LLC, so that way you're able to put other business ventures up under your LLC, that you can also do on the IRS.gov website. You can get that EIN number, but then you do have to file with your Secretary of State, which of course differs per state. So if you're in Alabama, it would be the Secretary of State.al.gov, and you can basically do it all there. You can get everything set up there. But also, if you don't want to do any of that, my company offers a service where we file your LLCs and stuff for you. Because some people are just like, hey, you know what? I'd rather not have to deal with all of that. I'd rather just get it done and boom, we knock that out for you. So if you're interested with that, you can also go to my website, coachev.com, and that's listed under our services. But again, your EIN number, irs.gov, and to assign or align your business with your state, you can go to the Secretary of State website for your state, and it should lead you there from the promptings. And if you don't want to do it all, want us to do it all for you, go to my website and we'll make that happen for you. Next thing. This has been an awesome and life-changing experience, Evan. Oh, thank you so much, Andrews, for your willingness to be a part. And thank you so much for being willing to share. Ms. Karen says, this was great and thanks for your support. I'm going to sign up. Yes, I would love to have you guys. I promise you. In the Coach's Corner, it's going to be just what you need, because it's what I needed 3 years ago. And because I fought through the mud and figured it out and kind of got to this point, it's like, hey, you know what? I'll make sure that I never put somebody in a position where they won't have what they need. Because one thing about business, people talk about business, people love business, but business is a life changer. People think having a kid and getting married will change your life. No, have your small business. That'll change your life, because what that does, that opens up the realm of opportunity. I have a friend who has an ice cream shop. She was like, I want to start an ice cream shop. Started a little ice cream shop. I mean, it's no bigger than the bedroom closet, but guess what? They scoop that stuff. That thing has made $100,000 in the first 3 months. Small business, very low maintenance. She has 2 coolers, some ice cream things, and a deep freezer outside behind the thing, behind the little, I call it a shack, but it's really like a little standalone. Small business. Made $100,000, and she works a regular 9-to-5 job. What could you do if your adventure made $100,000 in the first 3 months? I'm telling you, there's money out there. Money is absolutely out there. Money is everywhere, and it's our responsibility to put our hands to it. Because listen, everybody else is. Look on Instagram, look on Facebook, look on LinkedIn. People are opening up Airbnbs, they're opening up mom and pop shops, opening up diners, they're getting their small businesses going, they're becoming notaries, they're doing all these things, and they're making $1 and a difference at the same time. And guess what? I'm one of those people. I love the streams I have set up. Got an online t-shirt store people have no idea that I own. Have an Amazon store in process, almost done. It's all about getting active. It's all about finding what your niche is and getting in there. And once you start to move in your lane and set your lane and establish your lane, you'll be opened up to other lanes you could dive into that are low maintenance. That's the thing. Making money, low maintenance. I'm getting ready to release a podcast, and one of the streams for my podcast will be advertising. Hey, if you want me to promote your product or give you a 30-second product shout out in the middle of my podcast as a commercial break, $150. If I have 10 episodes a season, that's over $1,000 that I did nothing for, but just talk in the middle of my podcast about a product. Money coming in, easy money. And then don't let me blow up and I have to charge more than that. What if I get to a point I got 2,000 podcast subscribers in the first 90 days, and now my $125, $150 for your product promotion can now be at $250? But because I'm deciding I want to create a space for me to share wisdom and to talk about taboo conversations in the Black community, what am I doing? Next thing you know, I could be on Ricky Smiley. I could be with Charlamagne the God. I could be sitting next to TD Jakes and Stephen Furtick mediating or moderating a conversation. Opportunities are endless. And once we recognize that opportunities are endless, it makes it easier for us to really just say, you know what? Let me just get out here and go after it. And don't be the person that doesn't go after it, because guess what? Everybody else is. Sitting around being fearful, sitting around being nervous and afraid, it's time out for that. Everybody else is going after their stuff, and I believe that you should too. So I want to say thank you guys so much for being a part, for joining me today. This has been phenomenal. This has been impactful. The replay will go out today. It'll be in our link. You can watch it up until Wednesday night at midnight, which is going into Thursday. Of course, the Coach's Corner is there. The Coach's Corner will give you access to a lot of videos that I've taught, a lot of trainings that I've done over the years. You'll have access to all of that. And then I'll be teaching a lot in the Coaching Corner, the Coach's Corner. I've learned so much in business from my mistakes and from the stuff that, I have made some mistakes. You hear me? Like some mistakes. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Those mistakes could have been avoided with mentorship, with somebody just to be able to ask questions like, hey, you know what, guys? My first 2 years of business, I was in the red. And guess what? I owed the IRS money because I did not recognize that I needed to have my business set up the right way. That me having an LLC gives me the space to be able to write stuff off. So when I go buy a camera, or when I buy a flight to go to something, to a training, or when I go to training, my registration, even when I take certification courses, and when I get new information when I take these classes to learn new information, those are business write-offs. My internet for my house, business write-off. You know why? Because I'm a home-based business. Now I have an office, have a full office space, but guess what? That is also now a write-off. So many different things you guys can do. So many different things that can happen for your life when you are in the arena of business. And I would love to be the guy that pushes you forward and prepares you for not just your first 50K, but for your first 50 mil, because we're going to get it. End of the day, we're going to get it. We're going to get it no matter what we have to do. We're going to get it. And I am just overjoyed and thankful that you guys have spent the time with me today. Listen, after today, you've got this information. Close your laptops, close your notes. Go enjoy your Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Get you some food, get you some ice cream, and revisit this stuff on Sunday night or Monday morning. And I want you guys to make a plan of attack. Do those homework assignments, but most importantly, get ready to get the life that you want, because I promise you this, it's only an arm's length away. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you all. I look forward to seeing you guys in the Coach's Corner. And again, all the information you may need is at coachev.com. All right. See you guys soon.